Marty Ware here from happyhouseandgarden.com, your house and garden social site. And today I want to talk about my avocado tree here. Just give you a bit of a look at it. It's been growing for about 3 years in this pot. I got it when it probably would have been 6 months to 1 year old. It's just been grafted. It's a Sharwool variety, and the Sharwool is a spreading growing tree. And what happens is when you buy a grafted tree, you're actually buying a branch from another older age tree, and then they're connecting it on to a seedling, which for dwarf style only gets a small root system, so they're much better for the pots and not so great for really in the ground, because we really want to have a big root system when they're in the ground, but perfect for the container. Now, because it's a spreading, growing sort of branch, that branch that's been put on there isn't a central leader, so such as like a main trunk that you would normally get. So it actually thinks like a branch and starts spreading out. And it's been a bit unfortunate because it's twisted and curled a bit, and generally you want to have a nice straight branch for an avocado tree with almost that Christmas style shape going on, so the light gets all around it. So what I've got to do now is I have to give it a bit of a prune back for the first season, and then a really heavy prune for the second season. So we're going to get into this and show you how I'm going to do the first prune about the central leader and start getting it back into shape. So we're looking at the avocado tree now. You can see this, if I just move this Buddha here, and you can see here where my finger is, that's where the graft is. There's like a V graft there, and it's grafted fairly well, but you can see it's come up and it's branched out into like 4 sections there, which means that it's like it's grown out like what they call umbrella style. And that means it's spreading out to grab more light, and that means it's created quite a few central leaders. So we didn't really want that in the beginning, but that was the way the tree sort of went, so I sort of followed it. Where you can see that it's brown on there, that's burnt from the sun because it hasn't grown vertical and protected itself. And I tried to get as much leaf to cover it as possible, but it didn't end up seeming to hurt the tree too much. Now you can see here that this branch here, it's curving back in, but really we want it sort of curving out to the right or to the left. It's growing back on itself, so that's not really that healthy. But if we keep following that along, you can see that it goes right out that central leader, right out to the end there. So this, if I shake this, it's actually, if we stood this tree up, it would be like 7 foot high. But there's all this area that's being exposed and it's also getting sunburnt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to this second nodule here that we're looking at, where it's actually started to spread. And I'm going to take off that central leader here, and then I'll talk about the next part of what I'm going to do. When you're pruning your tree, it's really important that the blade actually goes onto the inside of the plant. See, we want to get a nice clean cut. If I had that there, that would be going on the outside there. So I just want to make sure that it doesn't get squashed and it becomes nice and clean, and that I keep it as straight as possible. If it's more angled, then basically it's not going to perform as well. So we're just going to bring it right over here so it doesn't fall onto the neighbour's yard. And excuse the plane, I live near the airport, as you probably know from watching other videos. So I've taken that off, and you can see how long it is. It's got hardly any growth on it there, and so it's a bit sunburned, and it wasn't really doing much. It's sapping a lot of energy out of the tree. So I've removed that. There's 2.5 feet of growth there, and now the tree is looking more sort of umbrella spread style. So I've made the cut here, and we can see here that there's some new growth coming out on these tips. Now eventually what I will be doing is I will be stumping this tree, believe it or not, next season above the graft. And when I do that, I'll be doing it right here in this umbrella section, right below this umbrella section, and all new little nodules will come out, and I will create one new central leader again, and I will train this tree to be more of a Christmas style shaped tree. Now when you're pruning a tree, they say that you shouldn't take any more than 1/3 of the tree off. Now this is shading a fair bit of the tree, but it's growing back inside to the middle of the tree, which really isn't good. You don't want to have branches going back into the middle of the tree. You really want this, I want this tree to be spreading out to the sides, But you know, there's some issues here because we only have so much room in here as well. But generally, you can see that there's, if I just, excuse me for a second there, you can see here, there's that new one coming out there. So if I was to cut inside that, which I'm going to do now, this one will grow out and this will become the new central leader, which like I said, I may go back and stump this at the beginning, at the end. But if it works out quite well, I'll keep growing it tall and start reshaping the tree. I just want to get that Christmas tree style shape to protect the tree as much as possible, and you know, to also shade the roots down the bottom of the tree. The other thing that you need to do is just remove any old dead leaf. If you've got any flowers and things coming through, then you may want to keep those flowers. Like you can see here, there's some flowers coming through, so I'll get some fruit on that. Hopefully if the bugs come through and it gets pollinated, which it should do. I haven't had any problem any other time. Any old dead wood also, like you can see here, this is pretty crappy old dead wood, and so I'm going to remove that using the same principle, using the blade on the inside and cutting nice and square and straight, and take that off. Now really the optimum thing would be to just bring this right back to a small umbrella tree style, which actually, to be honest, I think I may do, because I can see some nice new green growth coming out here as well, some more buds and things. And this one doesn't have any flowers on it. There's some flowers in some other spots there, so I'm going to trim that off there as well. Now, avocado trees, I did say about, you know, you shouldn't take more than 1/3 at one time, but an avocado tree, they can handle it a lot more. Like I said, you can stump them and they will grow back, and we've done that on the farm that I used to manage before, and from trees that were 22, 25 feet high, brought them back to 3, 4 feet, 6 feet at height, and then we could just hand pick straight off them. So this is going to actually, because I've done this, a lot more energy is going to go into these flowers, back into these little tips as well, and into these other plants. I'm going to get a lot more growth real fast than just this spread out sort of spraggly growth. So I'm going to remove this other branch here as well, and let all the energy go off to this flower and this new tip here. We've got, you know, if we come over across and look at this branch as well, we've got a lower branch and a tall branch here. This branch has got some flowers on it, so I'm going to leave that for this season, and hopefully, you know, I'll get some of these new little nodules will come through, and they'll start growing some nice new trunks, and it'll start protecting the inside of that tree for the summer period. Alright, so that's how you manicure or prune your dwarf avocado tree that may be in your patio or your backyard.
Hey, this is Marty Ware from Marty's Garden. I hope you enjoyed that video and you got lots from it. Please share it with your friends, and before you go, subscribe so you can see more videos from Karen and myself, and also click on the link down below once you've done all that in the description box, and head over to happyhouseandgarden.com. It's your social site for you. Yes, you can share all your images, you can make a free website as long as it's in the house and garden niche. Share it on Facebook, Pinterest, whatever you like, and have tons of fun along the way. And I'll see you over there because I'm in there every day. Happy gardening.